Hey guys, so this video is going to be really different from the rest of our videos. It's not a reaction, it's something about anime. This video is going to be our top 10 anime picks.
Now, keep in mind, these are our takes, our opinions, and our view of the anime, you know?
We're very picky about the animes we watch, and if we do watch an anime and we don't like it, we'll just stop watching it entirely. So if there's a really popular anime in our list that you wanted it to be there, it's probably because we didn't like it.
To be honest, there are some animes that we thought we didn't like, but we pushed on and we did like it. So, you know, anime taste always depends on like the mood you're in and what your specific taste is, you know? So don't kill us in the comments, please.
The animes in our list is from slice of life to action to whatever. It's not professional. It's just our favorite anime list.
If you think our list needs to be updated or switched around, let us know in the comments. And if you have any anime recommendations, let us know too.
We're gonna start it now, but again, this is our opinion. These are our takes. It's not objective. It's very subjective, and deal with it. Thank you for watching. We're starting from 1. For our options, I picked Monster.
I also picked Monster.
Okay. And out of all the animes, they're gonna be right here, editing me.
Somewhere
there.
Wow.
And I think Monster, just because it's all around a perfect anime. The character Johan is one of the best villains out there. The way he talks, his mannerisms is just really chilling to me. He's just an all-around perfect villain.
Yeah. While we were watching it, as we were going on the show, we were just realizing that this kept our attention going for basically all the episodes. Yeah. And just like my brother said, the main antagonist is just so charismatic, has so many skills that it just like captures you throughout. And sometimes we even I would root for the villain
for
or
some moments,
feel compassion for the villain
yeah.
once you learn the story, obviously.
Yeah.
And you know, and also the main character is just his battle of morals and just trying to find answers is just crazy to just witness. You know, it's just so interesting to look at.
Yeah, and also like this anime is really good because technically there weren't really any big action moments. Maybe some gunfighting scenes, but it was mainly just talking.
And there wasn't that much science fiction. It's literally just humans against humans.
Humans against humans, yeah. And you know the Johan's backstory about, you know, he was created to be like this, right?
Well, try not to give too much spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah. Not only Johan, but like every character had their own purpose, had their own character traits, and almost every one of them we liked and wanted to root for.
Yeah, every character didn't feel wasted.
Yes.
They all had their purpose, and it was just incredible.
Why this is one and not, let's say, Attack on Titan? Just because I admire how this show went for like, what, 50 plus episodes? And it was mainly just the dialogue. And I really like, I'm a more of a psychological like type of entertainer, whatever. I like to watch those type of movies and shows. And the dialogue, it just captivated me.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people would put Attack on Titan as you casuals. Yes, you casuals. I'm a casual too, but you're extra casuals for having Attack on Titan the number 1.
Yes.
I know why you would put that there, and obviously it's on the list here.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not number 1 because Monster is more intricate, and I know it sounds like bratty to say that it makes you think more, but it does. Mm-hmm. And even though Attack on Titan kind of has some similar themes
later in the season, though.
Attack on Titan has some similar themes later in the season. Mm-hmm. Like Monsters is just all throughout, just makes you. Mm-hmm. It has so many themes in it, so many lessons that, like literally in general, everything is good about it.
Also, the super highs of Monster just like dominate all the other animes. Like the roof scene where Johan talks to the police force guy and convinces him to drink again and commit suicide. Now it's even debatable if like Johan pushed that man or he did himself. But yeah, that was really wow. I was like, okay, this suit is not joking. And you also had to really think about the story because there were multiple locations. There was also flashbacks.
The antagonist, he was made
Mm-hmm.
by scientists, government, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he was made to be like this. So they, humans or them, had to face the consequences of their actions.
And for me, the best character in this anime was Steiner. The way he, well, I'm gonna spoiler, but he dies, right? But the way he died was so beautiful. But if you know the story, you know. But he conquered his trauma or whatever, and he knew that his strength was a force of good and not evil. That was his whole like battle with.
But yeah, that's our number one. We highly recommend to watch Monster. Please don't just say Attack on Titan is better. Please
Yeah.
watch Monster. It is a lot of talking for you
Mm-hmm.
simpletons, but yeah, you have to. It's really good what you get into. So now from the list that we have, our number 2 pick. I'll start with mine. My number 2 pick in this list is Parasite.
Interesting.
On Netflix, it's Parasite the Maxim, but I just say Parasite. I think it's Parasite, but Parasite, yes.
Okay. For number 2 is Attack on Titan.
Casual right here. Casual.
Now look, he says casual, but it is a great anime. The action is perfect, and also later in the seasons about like the whole who's in the right, who's in the wrong. It's very conflicted on that. But Parasite is not even in my list because it was a good show. But I think just the highs of Attack on Titan dominate the highs of Parasite.
He's bugging. Nah, he's bugging. Well, for me, I have Parasite there because I don't know. It just hit different for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I really like the whole story, the whole interaction between the main character and the alien Miggy. The little storylines combined with the main storyline was also pretty good. Also, the thing that I also like was just the soundtrack too, especially that one scene.
Yeah.
That one scene. You'll know when you say it.
Oh.
That one scene. And just, I don't know, it's just, Attack on Titan's on the list, but to me, Parasite is number 2 just because, to me, it has a special place because I always recommend it above Attack on Titan. Whenever someone says, what's an anime you recommend, I don't know why, but I say Parasite. Because I feel like it's way easier to go to that and then maybe go to Attack on Titan and then go to, more intricate stuff.
For me, I just wish Parasite was more than one season. Was it more than one season?
No, just one.
Yeah. I wish it was more than one season to actually flesh out the character more, make it even more emotional than it was. It was emotional, but even more.
That's where we differ because for me, like, the one season was enough. The turmoil that the character had to go through, just so much shit he had to go through. At the end, finding out that, he kind of misses the alien that he had it for a long time, He always wanted to get rid of it, but he wants it now. He misses it. And also, once again, this is a theme that's throughout a lot of animes. He kind of finds out that the real enemies, the real evil people are honestly humans. Mm-hmm. And, that's throughout, like, basically all type of media, not just anime. But yeah, just those type of themes I always enjoy.
But it was also Mickey's all other creatures too. Those creatures also were involved in the show.
Yeah, the antagonists in the show were other aliens too, but like they say in the show, the aliens were just were just surviving, In their own eyes, they were surviving.
Yeah.
So that's just it makes you think.
I do like how this show it ended on the roof, right? Where
Yeah.
the number one thing that almost killed his girlfriend was another human.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't even an alien, which is like was really profound to me, But again, Attack on Titan was great.
And just to me, like just the interaction between the main character and the alien Migi is just too iconic for me. So that's why I have it on number 2.
Attack on Titan, before and after the basement. It felt like we were with the characters before the basement episode, because we wanted to know what was outside the walls. We wanted to know the origins of the Titans, and it felt like we were with them throughout the whole thing. That's why it's still like it's a very popular anime, but I just felt like I was part of them, you know. And yes, it did get complicated after the basement and another country came along, and it was more about politics. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah, and war.
War, yeah. This is the only anime that we watched the manga on. We read the manga because
Oh yeah,
we
we
wanted to know.
couldn't we couldn't handle the weight, and also we're prone to spoilers, so we're like, instead of just getting spoiled, we just wanted to finish the Attack on Titan manga.
And that is why number 2, because we have never done that for any other anime. Moving on to number 3. For number 3 pick, I put Villain Saga. This man's making fun.
All right, for my number 3, I put Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, like he just said about Attack on Titan for his number 2, like, of course Attack on Titan is up there. It's like, it has to be in everyone's top 5, and for casuals, top 1. You know. But yeah, like Attack on Titan, like, no, we read the manga for it. Amazing storyline, you know. It kind of got more intricate later on, but it was still one of the best series, you know, out there. Parasite and Attack on Titan are, like, you know, are fighting for that spot, honestly. It's just for now, Parasite has a special spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just my thing, you know.
Yeah, the number one thing that we differ is putting Parasite there.
Yeah, yeah.
But talking a little bit about Villain Saga, because your Villain Saga is still on your list, right?
No, it's not.
It's not on your list.
It's not. I forgot.
You forgot?
No, yeah, but I honestly, I don't want to kick anything out of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't want to kick anything out of it. I mean, I could.
God have mercy.
Do you want me to? I could.
No. It's your opinion, your thing, okay? Remember, it's
but
about your
honestly,
opinion.
now reminding me, I should put it above something though. So I could change it right now. Honestly, I could remove something here, but then I'm gonna remove something there too. Want me to tell you what I'm gonna remove?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think now, like, looking back, season 1 was just like pretty fire.
This one does not talk about season 2.
Alright, I'm gonna remove Science Game.
Okay.
Now you won't like where Vinland Saga is on my list.
Lord have mercy. Lord have. We keeping it all in, boys. Okay. But just to talk about a little bit about Vinland Saga, what Parasite is for him, Vinland Saga is what is for me. Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The first season was just about a kid corrupted by his world and becoming a soldier, a killer soldier. And the first season was amazing. It followed Askeladd, protagonist, would you say? Or antagonist? Antagonist, right, yeah. And it was just a fun watch overall for season 1. How emotional it got for Vinland Saga season 1 about, like, Thor's dying, you know, and how Thorfinn had to deal with that death. But the reason why it's number 3 is the combination of season 1 and season 2. There's a beautiful connection between these two seasons, where in season 2, it's how Thorfinn learns how to become better, and also he did kill a lot of people, but now he has to take them with him and not shun them, you know. It's a beautiful series of how a person can change from good to bad.
Honestly, obviously, I don't have. He's gonna get mad for where I have Vinland Saga.
Lord have mercy.
But
I have no idea.
I still believe everything he's saying is true about the anime. But I have it different on my list because when I make the list, whatever pops in my head is what I put, you know? Just because someone says the anime is top tier, I'm not going to put it somewhere up there just because he said it, you know? I'm sticking with my gut on this list, so if you want to fight me, say it in the comments.
But just like Monster, Vinland Saga Season 2 was mostly dialogue. I think 2/3 of the anime was just farm arc. But I loved it. The dialogue was just up to tier of Monsters. And the duality of the main character, Thorfinn. And then including the introduction of Einar. And how the irony of Thorfinn having to team up with Einar. Who, Einar's backstory is basically his parents and sister got killed by virgins of Thorfinn, you know, just Vikings. Mm-hmm. So how like interconnected that was. Yeah, I think a lot of people dislike Vinland Saga now because of season 2, but they just don't understand. They don't understand.
Honestly, I was one of those, but I understood at later.
No.
I just got if you see season 1, you get spoiled with how much action it is. So you have to, not to sound bratty again, but you have to send your brain on to understand and like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, like the people. Okay, I'm calling out everyone that dislikes season 2. If you don't like season 2 because there's no action, it's boring, you legit have no character development in your soul. The reason why it's like that is because he's trying to become good. God damn it! It's not about slaughtering people all the time.
All right, so we're up to number 4, and for number 4, for our top 10 anime list, I put Mob Psycho.
That's hilarious. I put Full Metal. Full Metal.
What in the world, bro?
You're going crazy, man.
What in the world?
This is our first anime, like legit, that we watched together at least.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And I had to remind myself what happened, right? But I remember when we watched it, we both agreed on that it was a mistake watching it first, because now the bar was super high for anime, right? Mob Psycho is on my list, but Full Metal is what caused us to go into anime in general, because we saw the highest highs of anime. And the action was perfect. My favorite character being General Mustang, of how his powers generate from just doing this. That's a cold ass power. But also the character Scar, and how political it was, but not really. Like, it didn't go as political as like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it wasn't really in your face.
Yeah, but you could feel it though, and that's what I really liked. It wasn't shoved in our faces. And spoilers, the way it just ended was a perfect, beautiful ending. You know how everyone got what they wanted. General Mustang went blind, but he was okay with that.
Oh, he did? He went blind?
Yeah, remember? Yeah, he went blind. And his best friend not being able to walk anymore, but he was still the guns guy, And like the last few episodes, it was just like, it felt type cosmic horror of just like, if you know the big eye that shows up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the black and the door that's guarded by the kid, the white kid in there. Yeah. It felt very cosmic to me, at least. That I was like, oh wow, this is kind of eerie. And just like everything else above our list, the characters are just well developed too. I just had to put it there. Now you will not like where I put Mob Psycho.
Oh my.
You will not like it, not at all. But to give Mob Psycho some props, the action of it was pretty good. Emotionally, it was really well done. But I would just save the rest for later, and you go talk.
Oh yeah, so I can't believe it that he has. Well, first of all, Mob Psycho was just like a good mix of action, comedy. There was a lot of comedy, but it was
Slice of life?
No. Yeah, there was a lot of comedy, but it was still a slice of life. Like, it wasn't overwhelming comedy, It was sprinkled in there, and there was so many emotional moments too. And just the last season, how it closed off was just amazing. It closed off a lot of arcs and just like, not redeemed, but it was such a huge development for our character for the whole season, for the main character. Mom, I guess, right?
Mom, that's his name.
I was like, no, because I was like, is it Mom? It's in the title. It is Mom, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for Mom, there was like so much character development for like the main characters from beginning to end, and especially our little green guy. I forgot the green guy's name.
Oh yes.
But Dimple. I think it's just Dimple. Yeah, it's just Dimple.
The way he went out. I will say this though. This is kind of dark for me to say, but I do wish there was some kind of deaths in the show. So
I
like,
get it.
Fight scenes could feel more, tense, more scary, because death could happen. And when Dimple died, I was like, yo, this is crazy. But when at the end of the show, it was really beautiful how Dimple came back, but I was like, really? Did he really need to come back? It was a happy ending, but I just felt like if it went darker, it would have been a really good show. Now, maybe some audience would have not liked that, but for me, if it went that way, it would have been really up there. But
yeah, I feel like for every show, you can kind of say that if there's like some character deaths, it will like make it better. And I've said that sometimes for some other shows too. But for me, throughout the show, I was just saying that this is just a fun anime to watch. Like I wasn't really expecting like some crazy themes, even though it did have some nice themes and like lessons to learn. But I didn't really expect it just to be like, let's say, like a monster from our top pick, But it was still like a highly enjoyable, funny show with quirky characters, and just that's why it's in my number 4 because I enjoyed it a lot, and I just and we watched it while it released, so the hype was real, and just the way it ended, just a perfect ending for the show, and a good ending overall, like in terms of all animes, honestly. So
like the show was basically, to generalize it, it was just a kid trying to accept himself. He didn't feel good using his powers. He didn't know how, and it was really smart of them at the end that he didn't need these powers to become a person,
And also, this applies to everyone, but it showed that you need rejection for character development, which is what our character went through at the end.
Yeah, he got rejected, but he's fine with it. Everyone goes through rejection.
You live and you learn. That's what the lesson was.
And Mob Psycho will always be on top 10, just based on the episode of depression. The depression Reagan goes through with that episode, I think it was his birthday. And I think everyone agrees that episode was just one of the best out of the whole series,
And the most iconic moment is the fight with the teleporter. Just that whole scene with the teleporter was crazy.
Yeah, I understand why you put it there.
Full Metal is on my list, but it's not that I don't remember it. It's just that, there's just some other stuff that I feel like it's higher above, even though it's in my top 10, but maybe later on it'll change. But it is our first anime that we watched, so that's what I give it props for.
Yeah.
But, it's not up there for me. I don't know what to say.
And to be honest, like Full Metal was quirky, whatever, and also kind of fun. It had the vibe of like kind of like My Hero a little bit, but it was just more darker and more. It felt more real,
Yeah, a little more grown up. I feel like,
more grown up.
I feel like it's also because the main characters were also a little older than the school. They were like kids.
I guess.
And I think,
but they were still young though.
I think, but Edward, I think they looked a little older.
Oh, but the guy with the full robot, he never aged, remember?
Oh, yeah.
He never aged. But, throughout the show, they grow up,
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, My Hero, the motherfuckers never grow up, so. Moving on to 5, the halfway point, I have Death Note.
Oh, shit. I have Death Note, too.
Hey, that's what's up.
I have Death Note,
nice. Wow, I think that's the only one we're gonna get,
cramped.
Alright, now it's just, like, fucking dick riding. But...
Our experiences were different. We didn't watch it together.
And we didn't watch it together, but we just had to put it there because it was just too high tier, How the main character becomes more evil, you say, and the division that the audience has between our main boy of like supporting him to not supporting him. It's just like Attack on Titan and the main character. Again, no fight scenes per se, but it was just like perfect dialogue, perfect. It was still really intense. And it was just a dude writing in a notebook.
No fight scenes, but it was intellectual battles between Light and literally the rest of the world, specifically L.
Yeah. Now, for me, if L did not die and it continued like that and L won at the end, this would have been maybe 3 for me. Or 3. But I will say, after L dies and the kid takes over,
it wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good for me, at least, or I don't think the quality went down. It was hard for me to get invested with the little kid as much as I.
No, there was like 2 kids or 3 or something like that. It was like a whole group, but it was just one main kid.
Yeah.
I agree with him. Like, it was just such an abrupt change, which I heard like it was also abrupt in the manga because the author had to do it. I don't know, something like that, but whatever.
Oh, really?
But that's what I heard. But I don't know if it's true or not. But yeah, it was such an abrupt change, such an abrupt introduction to characters, and also just the fact that an iconic character like L just like died, like it just like it kind of killed the vibe, and didn't feel as good as the first half or first third, I guess. I wish L died but still won at the end.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, somehow. Maybe they introduced the new characters throughout the series instead of just abruptly, and then it plays out like a whole big storyline instead of just boom. It would have been higher up there if that happened. And also the opening is top tier. Yeah.
And the ending of Death Note, a lot of people hate on it, but for me, it was pretty perfect. Like, this is kind of like off topic, but it really disturbs me how a lot of people root for, like, let's say Walter White or the main guy Light, even though Light was trying to play God, and the way he breaks down at the end when they find out it's him, and he just goes crazy and starts laughing, and they shoot him. I thought it was just a perfect ending for him, because at the end of the day, he was killing a lot of people and dying like that. I thought it was just a good ending for him, because he was an evil person. He was trying to play God, and he shouldn't have, and he got his consequence.
And honestly, from what I've heard in the manga, he begs for his life in the manga and not as much in the anime. And that would have been even more better if they added that in, because it would have shown like, wow, he did all this killing and he's still begging for his life.
Exactly.
So,
if a lot of people would have hated it, but it's, he was playing God. What do you expect? The villain, what was his name? Not the demon or whatever it was. Whoa.
or Ryuk?
Ryuk?
Something like that. I don't know. But yeah. But it wasn't even the villain.
Yeah. Not the villain, but just the demon that controlled Death Note. He's like, the artwork of that guy was really creepy and really cool. To be honest, after L died, it was kind of like a blur. But then the last episode happened.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But again, the ending of like Ryuk saying between the lines of "It's been fun," and then writing his name down on the Death Note and him dying, that was really good. And the symbolism between him dying on the stairs, meaning he never reached heaven, but also never went to hell. He's always gonna be in limbo, whatever it's called. And it's really sad, the adaptation for Netflix.
The live action.
The live action, that one, it was horrible. But at least we got the anime. So
now we're up to number 6, and my pick for number 6 is Fire Force.
Interesting. Okay. Mine is Men in Abyss.
No shit, damn.
Men in Abyss.
Okay, so I'll go. Well, first of all, Fire Force has the best sound design ever. I think in all anime. Just watch, I think all the seasons, but the one that stood out the most was the most recent one. That most recent season, the sound design of everything was just insane. And that, honestly, that helps. That helps with the show, any show at all. If you have good sound design, it's just amazing. So the plot wasn't, too crazy, a decent storyline with like the reason the powers exist and all that stuff, but just like in general, the fight scenes, just some of the characters, the visuals were insane too. So I think that's why it's also high up there, because the visuals and the sound design, those two things just have it high up there. Because the storyline ain't too crazy, but just everything else just makes it 100% better. Just insane.
I put Men in Abyss because it's one of those shows where we entered it thinking it was gonna be like a little bit lighthearted, a little bit like Sex with Life. It's too
a kiddie show.
Because a kiddie show, yeah. And then we enter the season, and before them going into the Abyss, it was kind of like a kiddie show, right?
Yeah.
It was like, I just go, but when the main girl gets poisoned in the arm and the robot guy has to break it, and it didn't even work, and she was swelling up and almost dying, I was like, holy shit.
That's when it all started. That's when it all got serious. And
the best, not even villain, because he's not even a villain, he's just like a really fucked up guy, but still has a heart. His name was Bondrewd. I might be saying that wrong, but fuck it. that whole arc was dark, eerie. He was basically getting kids and mutating them and making them suffer. But we learned that he knew every kid's name. We knew that, was it like he wanted to do something good, but it led to that, you know?
Did it? I think he did it to find the cure, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I think so.
something to fix them.
Yeah.
But he had to do it to find a way, you know?
The atmosphere of Made in Abyss, it was so adventurous and so like, this is a weird comparison, but you know how like Uncharted, they try to find treasure, whatever.
No, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it felt like you're going on the adventure with them.
Yeah.
All the visuals and the soundtrack, again, was pretty fire. So.
And every location was so unique to its own thing. The upside down trees, the mushrooms, the anything like that. But after that arc, and then it just started to go crazier. About the Forgotten City.
Oh yeah, the Golden City, yeah.
The Golden City, yeah, my bad. But it was just an adventurous show. I loved it. The soundtrack of the latest season, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy.
I'm telling you, a soundtrack goes a long way.
The soundtrack really does go a long, and especially for Made in Abyss. And the soundtrack for Made in Abyss got an award, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For one of the seasons, I forgot which season.
Oh wait, no. Made in Abyss is on my list, but it's not that high up just because we watched other stuff before Made in Abyss. And so just my gut instinct was just, have other stuff before it. So, but I still, it's still highly regarded. So I'm not mad that he has it there. Mm-hmm. But it's just, we have it in different spots. So.
Yeah, and this is the only anime that has really small kids, but still has an adult feeling to it, where an adult and kid could watch this show and still get something out of it. The story about Made in Abyss is also really interesting.
Specifically for this recent season, it just got really intricate and more detailed. The lore just kept getting more interesting. Sometimes when you add too much, it just gets overwhelming, but this time we were really excited to see where this is going.
Yeah, for sure. For my 7th pick, it's gonna be Mob Psycho.
For my pick, I put Vinland Saga.
That's crazy. It's so low, bro. Oh my god, it's so low. You have it at 7 and I have it at 3. That's hilarious. That's crazy. Why Mob Psycho for me is really on the bottom, just because I see the rest up top of it, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's either as good or a little bit below those animes, I still love Mob Psycho, but compared to others, for me, it's just the others hit way more. It affected me more than Mob Psycho per se. Yeah.
No, well, for me, he has Vinland Saga high up, but for me, it didn't really hit. I know I really, really like season 1, but it's just the other ones. Just maybe it might be nostalgia just because I watched them first. Vinland Saga, it's still in my top 10, so that says something, kind of. But it's just not as high up for me. There's some other stuff that's better, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah, like
not better, but just.
For you,
for me, well, no, not better, but just for me, it just more enjoy. Nah, I don't even know. I guess better.
Yeah,
I don't. It's because I don't want to shit on it.
But just Mob Psycho not killing anyone, it kind of fucked it up for me. But at least Vinland Saga, like it's really dark, but also like it's really beautiful at the same time, and that's why it's up there.
So for our second to last one, for number 9.
Number 9.
Oh wait, what? Oh yeah. Okay. So for our second to last one. Oh wait. Keep on saying. No, it's because.
Oh, shit.
All right, we had a little cut there, but for our number 8 on the top 10 anime list, I have Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I have Tokyo Ghoul Season 1. Now, this is really controversial for you probably because it's only season 1, but we just had to put it there because it was really top.
He had to put it there.
I just had to put it there, and I know the story about the seasons after it, but I do not care. A lot of people just say season 1, just watch that, and don't really care about the other ones if you want. But I just put this as its own anime. And as Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 is just a top tier anime. And the soundtrack, the intro of it, is just amazing. One of the best out there.
I don't have it there. I don't have it on my list at all. Just because, again, like, it is iconic and the opening is iconic. But just because it's one season and they messed it up later, for me, it just kind of like... that's one of the reasons it's, like, not on the list. But another reason, just like I said, is just, like, because of that, just any other anime that was fully completed was just way better, you know, in general. I have Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood there, and not as high as him, just because the themes of the other shows outweigh the themes of this show, even though they're similar. Like, the other themes kind of hit different, you know. And I know this is kind of a cop out, but Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood at times felt too kiddie-ish at times. But that's just kind of being nitpicky about it, you know. So take that as you will. But yeah, that's why it's not high up there.
I put Tokyo like in there. The fight scenes, especially the last fight scene of the season, but also how he tries to like deal with the problem he has of becoming a ghoul. Like, he has to have a different way of living. He has to drink blood. He has to actually harm people. And yeah, it's a shame that the rest of the seasons aren't as good. But I just had to put it here for my sake, cause first time watching it, I was, wow, this is pretty unique, and just like the final fight scene of them putting the intro song into that final scene, it was just amazing. It was beautiful.
One thing to give props to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is that in terms of our age, it came out around 2009, so I feel like anime was still kind of early, I guess, kind of, you know, in our eyes. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was like the stepping stone for other animes.
You guys might hate me because I put only season 1, but I don't care. I think it's really good.
No, I think they'll understand. I think everyone will concise that season 1 was like the best.
For my number 9 pick, it's the one and only. You're like in April.
Oh, me too.
Really?
Me too.
Nice.
Me too.
It's the best, or one of the best slice of life animes out there, I think. Music of it, a kid having trauma about his mom being really
I think it was just abusive. Yeah.
Abusive, yeah. About her trying to make him a perfect pianist.
And wasn't it because she was a failed
Yeah,
musician?
it was because she was also a failed. So she was pushing her goals into him, which is not what you do.
Yeah, there was, you know, there's a theme of trauma there too. So there's a lot of themes in there. To be honest, I also in the beginning thought it was going to be like a musical show. So like my expectations were like, oh man, like damn, on a musical show, I don't think I'm gonna watch this or I'm gonna like it. But then, you know, it wasn't that at all.
It was like, what would you call it? Like the seed of it.
Yeah, I get the seed of it. Yeah.
The main girl,
Kaori, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, her getting really sick was not what I was expecting. It went there, and then the final episode. I have to rewatch it, but it was really powerful even then, of like him playing the piano, and her at the hospital, but the guy praying and hoping that she listens from afar.
And he also just in his mind was probably like seeing her playing it too.
Yeah.
You know, he was just like in his mind was like, she's there with me.
Yeah,
in spirit.
It was real emotional how he would. I think he kept saying during piano, like, "Do you hear this? I hope you're hearing this." And like it with the visuals too in the last episode. I think every episode had its own visuals, but this one it was like the blossoms. Was that the flowers? Yeah. The fact that it blossoms is also pretty beautiful, but it went crazy visual wise. This is the only slice of life anime I have in my list, and it should be there because it's very unique. If I watch it, I haven't watched it since our first time viewing it, but if I did watch it now, I'll probably cry. Not a lot.
You can kind of see the writing on the wall when she gets sick. You're like, oh, she's gonna die, because you know, off the summary and just like what you hear about the anime, you know, you could kind of tell she's gonna die, right? And it kind of builds it up low key throughout the show, but it still hits you hard either way. And just like, you know, it's not like just any other death where, you know, everyone's sad, you know, like,
yeah,
you know,
the guy doesn't really get that sad. He just tries to move on from it.
Yeah, because he kind of had to accept it, and like the girl also told him to accept it too, you know. Those scenes, just like the build up of their relationship, his struggle with the abuse from his mom, and just what he's going through in his own life.
Also, I think a lot of people just relate to this character, either from trying to be a pianist, in Japan, they really try to force that on kids. But also the fact that someone close to you gets an illness that might cause death, I think a lot of people can relate to that, and even more if that person dies. And just how someone has to deal with that.
And also like relationship stuff too.
Relationship
stuff in a sense, yeah.
It had everything. Trauma, death, sickness. But it's just a really beautiful anime all around. And the soundtrack too.
Yeah,
crazy.
Because the show was about kid musicians, I think the creators had to write music that went well with the story, because the piano from the guy, from the main character, and then the violin from the girl just mesh well together. It's just sometimes for me, I find music annoying, like as in like musical acts in any type of anime or like show annoying. But this time I'm like it was beautiful, like it was just like it was part of the show and it just felt right.
For my last pick of the top 10 anime list is Fire Force.
My number 10 for this anime list is Made in Abyss.
Interesting. Okay, now I put Fire Force, right, and it's top 10, saying that it's really good. I love the soundtrack. I think it has the best out of all of these animes. But like emotionally and even like character wise, I see myself not really relating to any of these characters in Fire Force. I just liked the action of it. It's really good action wise.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was a good plot. It's a good plot. But watching the show, I just liked it watching it, but I didn't really relate to anyone in there. Yeah, that's why it's low, but it's still top 10. And we watched a lot of animes, so. I'm surprised that you put it Made in Abyss 10. Why?
Oh, I mean, honestly, it might just be like recency bias because it's really new. Like we said before, when it was high up on your list, like it was insanely good. Just like the soundtrack and everything. Like I still play some of the soundtrack by myself. Just it's on my playlist and stuff like that. It's complicated. Like it's just other animes just feel like it should be higher above than that. Like it's still pretty new. It's still ongoing. I'm pretty sure Made in Abyss. So let's see where it goes. But it's still high up there. And maybe later on it'll probably go a little higher up, depending on how it ends, maybe. Because I'm still anxious to see how it ends. So I'm basically saying here, like, to be higher up. Fire Force is already high up for me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I'm calling out. I'm calling out that because why is it if you're saying Made in Abyss is still incomplete, but Fire Force is just 2 seasons, and Made in Abyss has a movie and 2 seasons, and it's still going on. That's my
Oh well, because Fire Force to me just the soundtrack trumps everything and the visuals trump everything, and because the storyline is like pretty decent, not like too great storyline, so that's why it's kind of high up there, because the Made in Abyss soundtrack is still good. I think Fire Force just hit different, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah. Oh, and by the way, we know that a couple of these animes are still ongoing, but we do not care. It's just on what's on right now. And maybe if we want to do it, we could update it in the future. But we're just basing on what is aired as of today.
And honestly, I could see Made in Abyss maybe switching with some stuff. But nah, I'm happy with this list. I'm cool with Made in Abyss being number 10. It's because it's still top 10, So I feel like because most of those animes that we talked about are already staples. That's why, maybe you have some bias. It's our opinion, so.
Yeah, because Fire Force is still ongoing. I just hate the fact that it's taking so long. We're waiting, bro. Come on. Just air it already.
Yeah, so that was our top 10 anime list. Do you agree with our list? Do you take some stuff out, put some stuff in, switch around the order? Let us know. What is your top 10 list? Put it down in the comments. And if you can't make a top 10, just give it a top 5, just let us know that.
Yeah.
But if you're top 1 the second time, just don't talk to me.
Yeah. And also, we have some controversial takes that we want to talk about.
Just for a second.
Just for a second, right?
The video's already horrendously long.
I believe My Hero is the most boring and cheesiest anime out there. The fan base is horrendous. I stopped watching it. He even gave it a shot and did not finish it, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
think it's
I
really
kept on
important.
going after he stopped it, and it just slowly just became boring. It became very repetitive.
Yeah.
So many episodes just to go to one plot point. Like, yo, come on, like it could have taken way shorter than that, you know?
Yeah.
It
And
just
also-
felt too much like a kids show, where the kids shows just drag on. Like, come on, it should be an anime. And I kept going again because I got spoiled by some scenes. Some fight scenes are still pretty cool because you know the stakes. But still, once you get to like, it still kind of, just takes too long. It's just getting a little boring after like the fight scenes are over, you know?
What did it for me was there was one particular fight scene where the whole episode was just them almost getting impacted by each other, but then there will be audio of their head, their voice head talking like, "Oh my god, he's really strong," or "How do I do this? What do I do?" And it was that the whole episode and no action at all. Frustrated and just made the episode boring for me. I was like, after that, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop watching this. And also, Demon Slayer has the same problem, but just less. It's a less of a problem because Demon Slayer, the first season, was just
The first couple seasons.
yeah, it was just golden.
Just the most recent season, it just became unbearable to watch with how so many flashbacks
Yeah,
and not enough fighting there was.
we do not like the late season of Demon Slayer. I am sorry, but also not. We did not enjoy it. We stopped watching it after what? Episode
Like 5 or something.
5, yeah.
We tried hard, man.
I guess you could say like we're basing on the last season of one of the best fighting scenes in recent time.
One last thing, I tried to watch Black Butler by myself. I lasted one season, but it just got too boring.
We
I hate
thought
Black
it
Butler.
was gonna be something.
Wait, did you watch it too?
We watched it together.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't even remember because it was so boring.
Yeah.
But we thought it was something other than it was. We thought it was something cool, but it wasn't.
Also, Prison School is top 5.
Oh, I forgot.
Nah, it's a joke, but whatever.
Yeah. Prison School is high up there, but
But
compared to others, yeah.
but in other terms, you'll know when you
Oh,
look it
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
You'll know
yeah,
when you look it
yeah,
up.
yeah. This was our anime top 10 list. Let us know if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, if you hate us by our picks, whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed making this video.
Yeah, if you have any other suggestions, if you have any anime recommendations that maybe you think should be in our top 10, like I said before, just give us what you think should be on the list or not.
But at least we could both agree that Monster is top 1.
Yeah, we both
And
agree.
it
Monster
always
is-
will be there, no matter what.
Yeah, I can safely say.
Dr. Tema, the GOAT. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.